Alright, YouTube. So I got the top radiator hose out after I drained the coolant. Um, I pulled my thermostat out. Oh man, it's rusty and crusty and funky. But I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up for now because there's not one available in town. And I need this truck to be going, and it wasn't overheating. So hopefully if I just kind of clean it up, it'll continue to last. It wasn't too hard to get to. Just these couple bolts up here. And then I took out that one, I took out that one, took out that one. And this is 6bd1-t, I believe, or 6bd1, whatever, engine. It's a 1991 Isuzu FTR truck. But I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up. I got new hose, and then this truck takes actually two hoses for the bottom. But I got both of them new too because they're just so old and crusty. I know they don't look bad, but when you kind of squeeze them, they just kind of crack and stuff. And I can definitely tell they're messed up. And also there was a bunch of mud and dirt and yuck in the cooling system in this truck. So I was just trying to get it flushed out and cleaned out and put new hoses and as much as I could just to preserve this truck and make it last for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take this in and get it cleaned up, and then I'll get this put back together. And I was going to also note, I didn't have to take off this bolt or this one of this little flange. I was actually able to pull this forward enough with the rubber of the fan shroud, and so that I could get under there and get it out. So I'll hope that I can get it back in the same way. Alright, YouTube. So I took it in, I got it cleaned up a little. I'm hoping that I can get this back in there and it'll still work and whatnot. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. And at least I got some of that dirt and grime and whatnot out of my cooling system. So it's one more step. Progress. Alright, YouTube. So actually I was able to get that to fold up out of the way. Now we can look down in there into the engine. It's kind of neat. So there's the thermostat. We'll get it put back in here. And granted, my ceiling surfaces are a bit pitted and rusted and whatnot. So I know that my stuff needs redone. This does. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it back together for now, and try to order in a good one, and when I put it back together I'll clean it up and stuff probably. Well, I don't even know how I'm gonna get it back together because that rubber is just so swollen and stuff, it doesn't even go in the hole no more. Alright, YouTube, so I got the bottom hoses off now. Still got a part up here. I ended up getting a hold of somebody in another town that was able to find the thermostat for this, so I'm getting the proper thermostat replacement. It was like 35 bucks with the grommet, O-ring, whatever. So I'm gonna have that when I put it back together. I flushed this out. There was so much mud in this, it was crazy. There wasn't really coolant in it because it had sat in a field. It went dry, and then we basically put water in it just to you know, get it home and whatnot. It was leaking, and you know, I've been having issues with it and whatnot, so there wasn't really a lot of coolant in it. What was in it, I did drain into a drain pan, but then I just started rinsing and stuff, and it's super pain because I don't have a hose, so I had to bring you know, just gallon jugs out here and keep rinsing down. And there's still a little bit of dirt in the water coming out, but I think I'm going to call it good for now, and I'm going to start getting these hoses put back on, the new ones that I bought, so I'll have good hoses. I did have to cut one of the clamps, so I'll have to go and buy a clamp, but I'm going to wait until like the last one up here so it's easy to access, and so that I can get one. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting these hoses back on now. Got that first hose back on. I'm going to go ahead and dump some more water down this, kind of flush the radiator from another angle now, try to get some more of that dirt out. Alright, YouTube, so there's the second hose back on. Whenever you're doing this, just think about how you're going to access the bolts and how you're gonna have a range of motion with that wrench or whatever as you're tightening and loosening, you know, make it a little bit easier on the next guy that takes these off, and you as you're putting them on. Other than that, you know, just believe in your guys' selves. You know, that's what this channel's about. It's not necessarily about this how to do radiator hoses on the Isuzu. It's more about, hey guys, you can do this. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do this if we just believe in ourselves and use what God gave us. So till next time, keep building shit. Alright, YouTube. So I had this little cap with the adapter in it already. So I went and grabbed it out of the garage, filled this little jug up, and I stuck the adapter into this end of the hose, squirted it through so that it drained out that side, and then I also hooked it up to this end of the hose and did it until it was running clear. Got all the mud and the gunk out of that line, which is I think the source of the mud that got in here, because if you guys remember when I bought this truck, the coolant overflow thing was right here, and it was full of mud and dirt, and it was all cracked and broken, and mouse houses and everything else. And so I think that then that hose sucked up the dirt and the crud into the engine. But now we've got it cleaned out, and that hose is good to go. The coolant system is good to go, at least as good as we're going to get it. So we're going to go ahead and get this buttoned up as soon as my family comes with the thermostat for me. As you can see, I already got the hose clamps on both ends of that. I had to find a different kind in my garage, but I found one. It was free, so that's a good thing. Till next time, believe in yourselves, keep building shit. Alright, YouTube, so there it is. Got the new thermostat and the new gasket, so I'm going to get it put in here, get this upper hose put back on, and get this thing filled back up with coolant. Right, YouTube, got it all topped up, got the overflow topped up, got coolant in it. Don't have to worry about it freezing for the winter now. That's good. You know, I got a little bit intimidated. You know, I don't like doing things like this, big projects outside, no garage, you know, this and that. But I believed in myself. I used what God gave me. I used my two hands and I accomplished this. I completed the task, and my truck's better for it. I could have gone to a shop, I could have paid them, but I would have been paying more than I make in an hour to have them do something that takes them 20 minutes. Why am I gonna work 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours to pay somebody else to do something that takes them 20 minutes when I can just believe in myself, believe in what God gave me, and accomplish things? So till next time, believe in yourselves. Get up, get out, do something. Take on a new project. Believe in yourselves enough to fail, if that makes sense. Believe in yourselves enough to know that you can try, and you might succeed, you might fail, but at least you tried. You know what I'm saying? Just try things. Try things until you find your niche in this life. Till next time, keep building shit.